From Nebraska's trusted news source, this is Channel 8 News at 5.
Coming up tonight, a Nebraska school is trying a new policy to help retain quality teachers.
Plus, you may not realize it, but Lancaster County is still under an emergency declaration due to the pandemic, and it could be ending soon.
And we'll have an update on the hemp bill in the legislature. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. But first tonight, we want to start with your weather. After a couple mild days, another winter system is headed our way.
Dropping temperatures and bringing some moisture to our area. Let's check in right away with our chief meteorologist, Rusty Dawkins, to get the latest. Rusty?
Yeah, good news, bad news. Good news first, we have temperatures today that were very, very mild. We were looking at highs in the 50s. Hey, there we are. Highs in the 50s today, which well above average. We should be in the lower 40s, and we were in the lower 50s today. We'll take a look at the high temperatures. You can see some colder air starting to push into the north, but it was 54 in Lincoln today, 60 in Hebron, 57 in Grand Island. Goodness, just a very warm day from about one side of the state to the other, but like I said, just a little bit cooler to the north and northeast. But it's a lot of sunshine out there. Beatrice, Schoen's Roofing Cam at 6th and Perkins, showing just a really pleasant day. If you didn't know any better, you'd think that it was that spring had already shown up, but that is certainly not going to be the case. 55 in Beatrice right now, 56 in Wymore. It's close to 60 still in Hebron, but notice that cold air starting to filter in from the north. It's still not bad. 30s and 40s, and most of us in the 40s for the northern half of the state, but it's still close to 60 in many areas like Grand Island, McCook, and Hebron. The wind is variable right now at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Hour by hour, temperatures are slowly going to drop to around the freezing mark by early tomorrow morning. Then look what happens. Not much. We're stuck right around 30 degrees for a good portion of the day tomorrow, and that's when things start to get interesting. The winds will pick up. Wind gusts will be between 20 and 30 miles per hour for a good portion of the day tomorrow. The chance for rain is out there. I think the best chance will be the first half of the day in the Lincoln area. We could see a little mixed precipitation like sleet or freezing rain, freezing drizzle on and off throughout the day tomorrow. The probability for snow won't be a lot of it in the Lincoln area, but the chance is out there as we head through the afternoon and into the evening hours. So there's a lot going on. There's heavy snow in the forecast for some, there's freezing drizzle for others, kind of a mess coming our way, and very cold temperatures. We'll sort it all out in a few minutes.
Does sound like a mess. All right, thank you, Rusty. We'll talk to you later. We may not hear much about the pandemic anymore, but that doesn't mean it's officially over yet. This morning, the Lancaster County Board of Commissioners met to talk about and vote on a number of agenda items,
including ending the emergency declaration that's been in effect for nearly 3 years. Channel 8's Matthew Mittleiter was at that meeting and has the details. Matthew?
Since March of 2020, Lancaster County has been under a declaration of emergency due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Statewide, the emergency status ended in June of 2021, and nationally, the Biden administration has said it plans on ending declarations this May. Those declarations gave governments more flexibility to adapt to the pandemic with executive orders by changing certain healthcare requirements and helping to supply tests and vaccines to the public. Now, some are saying that the pandemic is over, and since most places have returned to normal operations, it's time to end the declaration here in Lancaster County as well.
The number of cases, people getting sick, and the number of people ending up in hospital because of COVID has dropped precipitously. And so it's time for us to just face the reality that the COVID emergency has ended, and so we need to end the COVID emergency declarations.
Commissioner Schulte introduced the motion to have the declaration terminated, but it was not seconded by any other members of the board and therefore didn't move to a vote. Other commissioners said they will continue to hear from experts and citizens during the public comment portion of meetings, which take place every Tuesday. They say they intend to align with federal government's plans and end the county's emergency declaration on May 11th.
Matthew, thank you very much for keeping us updated on that. Teacher retention is a main priority in many school districts in Nebraska. As many lean on hiring bonuses, smaller districts have to come up with other ideas.
like a 4-day school week. That's what they're doing in Weeping Water, east of Lincoln. The State Board of Education says it's okay as long as they get in the required school hours for the kids. School administrators say even though there were some concerns, the community was supportive.
As a small school district, we simply don't have those financial resources, and so we felt like this was a way for us to be competitive with some of the larger school districts in recruiting quality teacher candidates. So that was our primary reason for going to that.
Now, of course, for some parents, finding daycare for the one day their kids don't go to school was an issue. We're going to take a closer look at this new way of running a school and how Weeping Water got the idea in the first place, coming up tonight on our newscast at 6 o'clock. Officials are investigating a fire that broke out at a local gas station. Lincoln Fire and Rescue was quick to put out the flames at a Casey's near South 13th and E Streets.
Officials say it started in an empty back room. No one was injured, and LFR was able to control the fire before it could cause too much damage. An investigation into what caused the blaze and how much damage was done to the building is underway. We'll keep you updated.
And take a look at this. A car smashed into Eyeglass World there at 56th and O last night. Police say someone ran a traffic light in that area there at the intersection. Two cars were hit, and one of those cars then veered into the store. Damage is estimated to be about $75,000. No one was seriously hurt, and the original driver was ticketed. Nebraska State Patrol is sharing pictures of people going way too fast.
They tell us speeding is a factor in roughly 30% of fatality crashes across the country. These pictures are just some of the high speeds troopers have seen recently. One person was caught going 115 miles per hour in a 65 mile per hour zone. Another was going 98 in a 45 mile per hour zone. NSP is reminding drivers to watch your speed and arrive alive. And when it comes to investigating crashes, the State Patrol is praising its drone technology.
That's right. The drone program helps map out the crash scene. In 2020, the average road closure for crashes was 2.5 hours. Now, it's less than 45 minutes. The State Patrol says drones cut down the time traffic is diverted and allows them to spend less time at a scene. Right now, the State Patrol has 35 licensed drone operators. Cleanup is underway right now in Dawson County, where a train derailed early this morning.
About 30 Union Pacific train cars carrying coal derailed about 3 miles southeast of Gothenburg. It happened just before 2 a.m. today. No one was hurt. Crews have been using heavy equipment to clean up the area. One of the 3 mainline tracks has since been reopened. The cause of the derailment is still under investigation. We also have an update on the chemical train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio. Residents are finally receiving answers to their questions at a public health clinic that opened this morning.
They're also getting treatment for symptoms being experienced from the derailment. Local, state, and federal officials are on site to help answer any questions. One woman says she felt better about the water when the governor, among other officials, drank straight from her tap.
There's so much uncertainty about it, and that really gets to me emotionally. We need to feel that we're safe.
We know things are all right now, and we just need to make sure that in the future they're all right.
The EPA has ordered Norfolk Southern to conduct all necessary actions associated with the derailment and pay for it. This includes identifying and cleaning any contaminated water or soil. Failure to do so will result in the rail company paying triple the cost. The Nebraska Legislature Agriculture Committee held a hearing today on a couple of bills related to hemp. One of the specific bills the committee held the hearing for was LB 263.
We first reported on this same bill yesterday. It would align the state regulations to federal law when it comes to hemp. There were numerous supporters and a couple who were neutral, but no one spoke in opposition of the bill. Supporters included the Department of Agriculture, who asked the committee to introduce the bill, the Nebraska Farmers Union, and hemp producers. The producers and processors spoke about the advantages of hemp for the environment and the applications the crop can be used for.
We've actually introduced a product that we've worked with the University of Nebraska on. It's a concrete structural block. And so with products like this that are getting approved through the ASTM standard, we're going to be able to have manufacturers in the state of Nebraska that can produce that. And once you have manufacturers that want to manufacture with it, that demands growers, and then they can allow for a processing facility to come in to facilitate that.
Due to the nature of hemp, the block is carbon negative, meaning it takes in more carbon from the environment than it puts out. It's also a great insulator and is flame, water, and pest resistant. The goal is, if the bill gets passed, it will mean more farmers will grow hemp and manufacturers will choose to set up shop here in Nebraska. To some crime news now, a York man accused of killing his wife last month has been denied bond. The judge said it was to protect the public, evidence, and witnesses.
47-year-old Bart Butler is charged with first-degree murder. Officials say he called police on January 30th and told them he had shot his wife, Stacy. He was later arrested at his brother's home. Prosecutors say he was wearing blood-stained clothing when he was taken into custody. Well, coming up, the dispute continues over a ban from Mexico of genetically modified corn.
A group of Nebraskans went to Washington, D.C. looking for help with the issue. We'll have that story and your full forecast after the break.
Those who fought bravely
Nebraska farmers are calling on President Biden to end a dispute over biotech corn.
Mexico has shown it may ease off a total ban, but farmers say that's not enough.
While his boys play in the mud, Michael Bergen recently cleaned up for a trip to D.C., where Nebraska farmers say they heard promises from Mexico that a ban on GMO corn would be eased. But Bergen says that's not what happened.
They really doubled down on their position, and was pretty disappointing to hear that.
Mexico now says it'll allow yellow corn for livestock feed, but not white corn for tortillas.
That is not a trade-off we're willing to make. We will not sacrifice white corn at the altar of being able to continue to sell, animal feed.
And when the rest of the world sees Mexico get away with something like this, you better believe that other countries are going to try to do similar.
Congressman Adrian Smith is concerned at the precedent this could set. As he says, it's now time to enforce the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement.
Saying we need to take action here. It is such a flagrant violation of the USMCA.
One of the architects of that trade deal says it has a brand new enforcement mechanism.
It's designed to work at the speed of commerce, work in a matter of weeks, not in a matter of years like we've always had in the past. The point to be made, though, is that is the last resort. You don't want to have to go down that road. You'd much rather work this out diplomatically.
Corn growers like Andy Jobman say talks should continue, but he'd like to see the Biden administration initiate a dispute.
We have this uncertainty of what's going to happen to this market. What kind of signal does that send to our other markets around the world? We need to remain strong on this issue.
Jobman says Mexico's president needs to consider the consequences.
To suddenly put a halt on that trade would increase food prices and food inflation in the country of Mexico.
It is in Mexico's best interest to see their way through and resolve this issue.
And from farmer Michael Bergen's view, the consequences are great if Mexico doesn't follow the science on GMOs.
We really feel at this point we need to hold their feet to the fire.
And Mexico has claimed that it is self-sufficient for the corn needed for tortillas.
But Nebraska farmers challenge that assertion and believe a dispute would be resolved in their favor.
Now, your Storm Alert team forecast with Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins.
Another nice day. We had temperatures in the 50s, 60s in some spots, plenty of blue sky, not a whole lot of wind. It was a very nice spring day, and I hope you enjoyed it because things are going to change for a couple of days. And that's the good news here. If you're not a real fan of the bitterly cold wind chills that are double digits below zero in the snow, I think one or two of us might be, but the rest of us could probably do without it, and things will return to what we kind of had today as we head towards the weekend. I mean, 52 in Southeast Community College, 55 East Campus, Yankee Hill Road, Airport at 55 degrees, still very close to 60 in some spots like Hebron at 59 degrees, Grand Island at 58, Hastings, Fairbury, 58 degrees. Very mild out there, but there's some colder air starting to slowly sink down from the north, and it's sinking south. So by tomorrow morning, this is what it's going to look like. Still fairly mild in southeast Nebraska, right around the freezing mark. And that's, I think, where we're going to stay for a good portion of the day tomorrow. But then 20s, teens, and single digits. So I'm going to put this into motion, and that cold air just sags down. Look at this already. Actual temperatures below zero by 10 o'clock Wednesday night. 4 below Valentine, Chadron at 5 below, Scottsbluff and Sydney 4 degrees below zero. Everybody else single digits, teens, and then 20s and almost 30 degrees. So we don't cool off much in southeastern Nebraska on Wednesday, but it continues. It just won't stop. It's going to be even colder to the west by Thursday morning. We're talking about teens below zero for actual temperatures. Almost the entire state near zero or below zero and just barely above in southeast Nebraska. So let's look at the wind chill. 8 a.m. Wednesday, already 15 to 20 degrees below zero in the northwestern half of the state. Barely double digits from Grand Island East, 18, 19 degrees in Omaha and Lincoln. But that cold air seeps down, and by about 10 o'clock Wednesday night, just about everybody from Norfolk, Grand Island west will be 5 to 10 to 20, maybe 30 degrees below zero. Still hanging on for dear life in southeastern Nebraska, but it's eventual. By early Thursday morning, just about everybody will be double digits below zero for a wind chill. That's Thursday morning at 8 a.m. So because of that, wind chill advisories, wind chill warnings, and even a wind chill watch just off to the west, I think this will eventually fill in. They've got bigger fish to fry first. Now onto that. The storm that's coming is just light rain now, but notice everything's changing over to snow from the Dakotas towards the Black Hills. That will all push down to the south. So Stormcast has that snow lingering through 5 o'clock Wednesday morning. A little bit of mixed precipitation. There's a lot going on. There's mixed precipitation there. There's some rainfall there. This could mix at any time. So that's what's going on there. The heavier snow stays to the north and to the west as we head through the day on Wednesday. Still some light mixed precipitation. That's hard to show up on Stormcast sometimes. So it's still in the forecast. Heavier snow wraps around to the north and to the west. And then another wave comes our way as we head through Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. And then everything pushes off to the north and east. So that was a lot going on in just a 24-hour period. So first and foremost, the ice potential is out there, but it's minimal. still a chance, maybe just less than 1/10 of an inch, but if we see anything on untreated surfaces, that slickens everything up very quickly. And because of that, I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of snow from Omaha, Lincoln, York, south, traced to 1 inch, maybe 1 to 2 a little bit further north, then 2 to 4, 4 to 8, and then eventually getting closer to a foot of snow in north central and western parts of the state. So I think this brunt of the storm, the snow potential, will be well to the north. That's why the winter storm warnings are way off to the north and to the west. We're on just the edge of the winter weather advisories, mainly because of that freezing drizzle, freezing rain. But the further north you go, the better chance you have at seeing some snowfall. So tonight, temperatures holding steady, right around the 30-degree mark, a little cooler to the west. We'll say 30, increasing the clouds, mild and breezy tonight. That wind will start to pick up, and it'll really pick up tomorrow. So the temperatures will not. 32 for a high. That'll probably happen early, and then temperatures cool off. 20s and 30s, light mixed precipitation, rain, ice, mixed snow, all going to be possible on and off throughout the day. I don't think it'll amount to a whole lot, but the potential is there. Southeast wind 10, 20, maybe gusting towards 30 miles per hour. Then cold air settles in for a couple of days, 15 on Thursday, 25, a little bit of light snow possible on Friday. And then everything gets back to normal. 48 degrees on Saturday, 50s by Sunday and Monday, a slight chance at rain as we head into the beginning of the work week next week. And then March begins, and on a mild note, look at that, 50 or better Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So if we can just get through this interesting winter storm that we have going on over the next day or two, spring comes back for a while.
All right, thank you very much, Rusty. A lot to talk about today. Not a great day on Wall Street today. The Dow plummeting nearly 700 points. NASDAQ almost down 300. S&P also losing 82 points. Here are your numbers. You're watching Channel 8, Nebraska's trusted news source.
Tonight, after the historic
Finally tonight, it's time to indulge. Fat Tuesday is here. The day is most closely associated with Mardi Gras, which is actually French for Fat Tuesday. In modern times, Fat Tuesday is the last day to revel in food and drink before Ash Wednesday, which marks the beginning of Lent.
These days, Fat Tuesday in the U.S. is most closely associated with festivities in New Orleans with its parades, king cakes, and beads. Though residents of Mobile, Alabama will be quick to tell you they organized carnival celebrations first.
Well, there you go. All right, let's get a final check of the weather because it's an important one. Rusty?
Yeah, lots going on over the next 24 to 48 hours, but it's quiet right now. A little on the breezy side, but plenty of sunshine. Temperatures doing just fine. 55s in Lincoln and Beatrice, 44 in Columbus, 54s in Aurora and York, and Norfolk is one of the cooler spots at 41. That east to southeast wind will eventually switch around to the north. So not much happening now, but you can see there's light precipitation, especially in the northwestern corner of the state. That's going to change over to snow and eventually move south and east. So the heavier snowfall will be well to the north, where the north central and western portions of the state could see 8 to 10 to 12 inches of snow, maybe a little bit more. And then that tapers off the further south and east you go, the better chance for some light mixed precipitation in the southeastern corner of the state. That's why you're not seeing a 1 or 2 or 2 to 4 inches of snow in the southeastern corner because of that light mixed precipitation. So winter storm warnings in pink, that's for north central and western Nebraska where the heavier snow is expected. Lighter snowfall amounts in south central and southeast Nebraska, into eastern Nebraska, maybe some freezing drizzle, some freezing rain. So if you have travel plans Wednesday, just make sure you know where you're going, what's going on, and what the roads are like, because it's going to be a mess in some spots. 32 Wednesday, 15 on Thursday, then trying to warm back up on Friday.
All right. Thank you, Rusty, and thank you for joining us.
Have a wonderful evening. We'll see you right back here at 6 o'clock.
With the Channel 8 News mobile app, you'll be the first to know. Get alerts about breaking news and weather, all in the palm of your hand.
The spas are here. Truckloads of spas arriving weekly. Hurry in today. These spas are going fast. Spas are in stock and ready for immediate delivery. Supreme Spa and Move.
Closed captioning on Channel 8 Eyewitness News is brought to you by Christensen Hearing Analytics.